on his side, but this guy ain't no good. He walk all around the tongue, but he can't go abroad. Everybody know he's a big, big fraud. Every plane that land does give you a fright. That's why he does pray and cry every night. But people don't worry, have no fright, 'cause we gonna expedite the extra. As Robin Hansel, both of you going in a cell, please tell me now the real price for the Lamborghini. Do it very soon, do it very shortly. As Robin Hansel, both of you going in a cell, please tell me now the real price for the Lamborghini. Do it very soon, do it very shortly. Since I was young, now I old. Never know Guyana had so much gold. Ship it out but not pay taxes. I hear we owe in the millions. He spent half on them girls, them Brazilians. But soon they are reckoning a come. I laugh them, I go laugh. I run them, I go run. Run, 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 run. As Robin Hansel, both of you going in a cell. Please tell me now the real price for the Lamborghini. Do it very soon, do it very shortly. As Robin Hansel, both of you going in a cell. Please tell me now the real price for the Lamborghini. Do it very soon, do it very shortly. Just do it very quick, do it very shortly. Just do it, just do it. One of them chicks say you just come real quick. They say we're wrong, why you're moving so frantic. He's panting, he's sweating, he's trembling inside. Say I can't stay long for the ride. Bye, the shutter than a GRA invoice. Smuggling, calling, let me make my choice. My choice. As Robin Hansel, watch how fast the story swell. Lamborghini price keep changing every minute. Fix it now, my friend, make up your mind. We tired of the gimmicks, oh. All them years you rip off the nation. Now you turn overnight big politician. I believe this song on Sinky mission. Just trying hard to dodgy extradition. We talk about change and new ambition, but we know it's just pure self-preservation. Why the paperwork tight, no more magician. Soon court gun tally for real submission. But people don't worry, have no fright, 'cause we gonna expedite the extra. As Robin Hansel, both of you going in a cell. Please tell me now the real price for the Lamborghini. Do it very soon, do it very shortly. As Robin Hansel, both of you going in a cell. Please tell me now the real price for the Lamborghini. Do it very soon, do it very shortly. Do it very quick, do it very shortly. I see some of you laughing, some of you crying. Please don't think the Guyanese stupid or stalling. They're living in mansion with pool and spouse. Guyanese living like church mouse. There is something really wrong here. This ain't right, this ain't right. That's why we wanna really expedite the extradite. As Robin Hansel, both of you going in a cell. Please tell me now the real price for the Lamborghini. Do it very soon, do it very shortly. As Robin Hansel, both of you going in a cell. Please tell me now the real price for the Lamborghini. Do it very soon, do it very shortly. Do it very quick, do it very shortly. Expedite the extra time. Soon the FBI plane gonna land. Expedite the extra time. Ring the bell, ring the bell. Expedite the extra time. As Robin Hansel.
This is your boy Courdel on the WYFL Livewire. This one is going out to you, Azardin, to you and all your scrapehead crew. You say persecution, but a warrant come lawful. Camera them a roll when the officers walk through. Cry victim, body footage them a talk to. If you say you're clean, the fruit not gonna haunt you. Camera you closed, but the door still open. Money get flipped while a narrative spoken. Every time you question, Azadine choking. Play Messiah, but the record still broken. Sacred space can mix with a scandal. Mass nafitor, no political panel. If you're bold, stand firm and handle. Law not personal, law not vandal. Sacred space not mix with a hype. Faith not for shame for financial fight. If you're right, as then you're right. but the process I can run in a broad daylight. In a parliament, say your bank full of crew, say your phone red side, blue side too. If so, then the question due. How much influence you buy with a few? President answer plain and short. No one bankroll, we cut that sport. Headline twist, them they start. Silence we create, we spin the report. Sanction clouds still hover above. Still a preach righteousness talking about love. But integrity not a word for sure. It show in a conduct, it show in a glove. If law knock a door, that not oppression. Investigation, not suppression. Big man talk need big man action. Not hide behind feet for protection. Sacred space now mixed with play. Politics dirty, master your way. If you are lead straight. History not bend for no ego weight. Sacred space can't mix with spin. Truth not fear, courtroom nor din. Stand up for 'em, let justice begin. Faith not prop, no political win.
This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey, Guyana is nice, Guyana is fun, Guyana is clean, Guyana is green, Guyana got oil, Guyana got gold, Guyana got young and Guyana got old. I ain't talking no more. Guyana got things, we growing wings and developing things. The government real and that's a big deal. I'm singing from my heart, Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces.
Hey yo, my G, where you from?
Guyana.
Ghana?
No, Guyana.
Yeah.
Hello, Wagwan.
Yeah.
I came from a land. It have many water, many great sons and many daughter. And we have the land, yo, where many ask for. We never see Katrina, nah, those disaster. I feel nice, we come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we show them pretty. The man full of faith, me nah know none must slippy. Guyana, me say big up on no city. Cause this is the dear land of the free. Land of the many waters, resources and trees. Land of the rivers and seas. I proud, Phoebe, Guyanese. Land of the Amerindians, the Africans, the East Indians. And Portuguese, not to mention the Europeans and the Chinese. Them feel blessed from Guyana, this breeze. Cause enough people tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where me live. Land of the biggest one drop falls.
Hey yo, my G, where you from?
Guyana.
Ghana?
No, Guyana.
Yeah.
Hello, Wagwan.
Yeah.
I came from a land. It have many water, many great sons and many daughter. And we have the land, yo, where many ask for. We never see Katrina, nah, those disaster. I feel nice, we come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we show them pretty. The man full of faith, me nah know none must slippy. Guyana, me say big up on no city. Cause this is the dear land of the free. Land of the many waters, resources and trees. Land of the rivers and seas. I proud, Phoebe, Guyanese. Land of the Amerindians, the Africans, the East Indians. and Portuguese, not to mention the Europeans and the Chinese. Them feel blessed from Guyana beach breeze. Cause enough people tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one drop fast. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America. Some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. Alright, 1, 2, mic check. You from Gravity, are the nicest. Match time, my city. Are the hypest. We see them gyal wind up in a some liquor tight dress. We hustle from morning till night catch them finno. Guyanese get a youth not like rest. House and car them finno we like press. Check the bank line them. We not like check. We got gold and diamond, them thing priceless. Timber bauxite, then check the aisle next. GDF, Miami is the finest. I mean not talk about the sugar, nor the rice yet. So a Marshall, I drop the Guyanese bomb. For feed the nation, that's the Guyanese plan. Big up a kilo, them with them Guyanese slang. Guyana, that's where them Guyanese from. People tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one drop fast. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America. Some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. I came from a land. It have many water. Many great sons and many daughter. Is we have the land. What many ask for, we never see Katrina or none those disaster. I feel nice, we come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we sure them pretty. The man full of faith, we not know none must slippy. Guyana, we say big up on the city. Enough people tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of El Dorado in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one drop fast. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America. Some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. Hello, Wagwan. I the nuclear family. Hey, master, one up fully. A one-time records. A 592, we think them. Hello, Wagwan.
Hey, yo, my G, where you from?
Guyana.
Ghana?
No, Guyana. Yeah. Hello, Wagwan. Yeah. I came from a land. It have many water, many great sons and many daughter. And we have the land, you were many acts.
We're ready to go with Courdel Jones. You know it's gonna be real from 8 to 9. Bringing vibes you can feel. News, views, and what's hot today will keep you wired in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way.
No. Sorry, Livewire. Sorry. This is kind of morning.
Expedite the extra tight. Yeah. Expedite the extra tight. For us Robin himself. Expedite the extra tight. Yeah.
Good morning to you all, you lovely Guyanese, wherever you're joining us from, whether it be across the 10 administrative regions or whether you're a Guyanese out there in the diaspora. Good morning to you. Special good morning to those persons in the comment section. I was just reading, you ain't gonna see that. I was just reading a press release from the We Invest in Nationhood Party, released 8 minutes ago. So for everybody who's here, it's a little long-winded, man. Y'all want me read it? I'm going to ask the comment section if y'all want to hear it, because it was released 8 minutes ago. So anybody here might not have been able to see it. If you want me to read it, just let me know in the comment section and I'm going to read it, or we can just continue with the program for this morning. Let me know quickly. I hope everybody having a wonderful morning. Please remember, big up yourself, Quincy Anderson. Please remember to share the live. Good. I get 3 yeses. We're going to go. Get 3, 4, 5. Good. Let's go. For immediate release, We Invest in Nationhood, March 18th, 2026. Win rejects appeal ruling as opposition leader of Guyana, Azzuddin Mohammed, and his father, Nazar Mohammed,
lose another appeal. At least they're honest enough to acknowledge that they lost another appeal. In a decision yesterday, March 17, 2026, the Court of Appeal dismissed yet another appeal by opposition leader Azadin Mohammed and his father Nazar Mohammed, ruling in favor of the Attorney General Anu Nandalal and the Minister of Home Affairs, the Honorable Unej Walrand. The appeal court challenged the High Court's decision. The appeal court challenged the High Court's decision on political bias surrounding the issuance of the authority to proceed, the ATP, by the government agencies in the extradition matter against the Mohammeds. Despite overwhelming and obvious bias, High Court didn't see it, Appeal Court didn't see it. 3 justices of appeal and the 2 justices of appeal and the Chancellor of the Judiciary sit down and listen to them. They may see it, but they're still holding out, right? So this is what they say. Despite overwhelming and obvious bias demonstrated publicly by Minister Walrand and Attorney General during the 2025 elections campaign, and until recently, the court ruled that a bias does not arise, right? Delivering the ruling, Acting Chancellor Roxanne George Wilshire held that the minister was exercising a purely administrative function under the Fugitive Offenders Act. The court concluded that once statutory requirements are met, the authority proceed must be issued. Sensible is only when you understand that. The authority must be issued, and therefore there was no room for bias. You understand? So anybody issuing an authority to proceed in Mohammed's mind must never take part in any elections campaign. They must never support any political party. They must just be on the fence. They mustn't have a choice. You understand? And I'm saying that because he's trying to use the fact that Minister Walrand would have campaigned for the PPP. She's biased against him, right? Based on the evidence being heard in the magistrate's court by the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Sharon Rupchan Edwards, and mind you, Miss Rupchan Edwards on the stand for almost 2.5 months now, right? The PS is on the stand for almost 2.5 months now. Hence, Mr. Hanuman saying what he said yesterday, right? Based on the evidence being heard in the magistrate's court by permanent secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Sharon Rupchan Edwards, and the rush to have the indictment served on the Mohammeds by the government of Guyana mere hours before the then presumptive opposition leader was sworn into his constitutional office as a member of parliament, the context of clear and indisputable bias cannot be ignored. That's the Mohammed's lawyer's opinion. And remember, they're not too learned. They're just lawyers. A couple of them got senior counsel on the name, but they're not too learned, in my opinion. My humble opinion. Therefore, when formally disagrees with the ruling of the appeal court, we believe there is clear evidence of bias in these proceedings. When rejects the notion that compliance with statutory procedure alone is sufficient to insulate a decision from bias, particularly where those exercising that authority, Minister Walrand and Attorney General Nandalal, have publicly demonstrated clear hostility towards the Mohammeds because y'all want to frig up the nation. Them people love the nation. Y'all trying to drag the nation into all kind of financial foolishness. Wretch, could you imagine if Azli Mohammed was president? The stand certain governments would take with us. More so, if you notice, once the US take a certain stance with a country, a lot of others falling. Anyway, I get to the bottom of the statement, right? When further rejects the suggestion that statements made during the election, statements made during the election are irrelevant. Public declarations by senior officials against political opponents cannot be disregarded when those same officials exercise decisive power over that individual's liberty. America sent for you. They didn't send to America to send. America sent to you. And it's a process for everybody. Equally troubling is the acceptance that advice from the Attorney General, who has consistently and publicly ridiculed the opposition leader. This is not part of the statement. What's saying now? For his stupidity. I am saying, in my opinion, the AG just ridicule the opposition leader for the lack of matter in the top side. That's my statement. That's not in the statement, right? Equally troubling is the acceptance that advice from the Attorney General, who has consistently and publicly ridiculed the opposition leader, could be treated as wholly neutral and untouchable by bias. Wynne also rejects the idea that there was no need for recusal or delegation by the Minister of Home Affairs in circumstances where impartiality is reasonably called into question. The failure to step aside does not strengthen confidence in the process. In fact, it undermines it. Wynne reiterates that this process is inherently flawed and should be dismissed at the magistrate's court. You notice at the end of it, these guys are saying, despite whatever the senior courts say, it is their belief that this matter should be dismissed at the lowest court. Right? At the lowest court. It's their opinion that it should be dismissed. So all the Chief Justice, who we could confidently say is more knowledgeable than the principal magistrate, is wrong. The appeal court justices, who we can confidently say they're more knowledgeable than the principal magistrate, Judy Latchman, they are wrong. It's only the Mohammed attorneys got sense and know what is legal from what is not legal and what's biased from what's not biased. And apparently, Magistrate Judy Latchman, Principal Magistrate Judy Latchman. Anyway, in case you missed it, here it is.
There's no need to address the issues raised in the minister's notice of intention to vary the decision of the Chief Justice. So, this is the disposition of the case. The court is of the opinion that this appeal has absolutely no merit. Therefore, the appeal is dismissed with costs to the Minister of Home Affairs and to the Attorney General in the sum of $1.5 million each. There's no orders to cost in favor of PM Latchman, as she played no active role in this appeal, her counsel indicating she will abide by the court's order. The notice is to cost, and the submission that this court should grant a stay of the extradition proceedings before PM Latchman, pending a possible appeal to this Caribbean Court of Justice, is noted. This court is of the view that any such stay would be best addressed by the Caribbean Court of Justice. That's the judgment of the court. As I said, it will be uploaded to the portal latest tomorrow.
So, we heard from the acting chancellor of the judiciary. This wasn't a decision made in isolation. There was a panel of justices who listened to the arguments of both sides and dash it out with Shell and the Three Stooges at the bottom there. Dash it out. I cannot not go back to what Glenn Hanneman said yesterday. Right? I cannot not go back to that. A masterclass in delay. A masterclass in delay. Right? And that is what we are expecting. That's what we're going to see from Team Mohammed's. Now, let us deal with this, or with what happened plainly. The Guyana Court of Appeal has now officially dismissed the Mohammed's case, claiming that the Home Affairs Minister was potentially biased when she issued the authority to proceed in the extradition matter. And not only did the court dismiss it, the chancellor said, as I just played for you, absolutely no merit. Not partially, not sectionally. Absolutely no merit. Absolutely no merit. And that is devastating to the legal team and to the two Mohammeds who will soon be taking their first flight on this extradite airlines. Because that is not the language of a court saying, well, maybe they had a small point, but it failed. No. That is the language of a court saying the argument was fundamentally empty. This argument had no real legs. This argument cannot stand. So, the first thing I want to share, Mohammed's tried to sell to Guyana a political victimhood story. Right? That's the first thing they did. Persecution. And the appeal court basically tore it to pieces. Hey, yeah, throw it away. They wanted the country to believe the extradition process was poisoned by politics. But the court has now made it clear that argument had absolutely no merit. And that phrase matters. Absolutely no merit. Not weak merit, not partial merit, not technical merit. Absolutely no merit. So, what Wynne has tried to do with this press release I just read to you is to go back to the people, to go back out there, trying to cry victim again. The public must remember that the Court of Appeal already looked at this and found nothing there. Absolutely nothing. Now let's go a bit deeper. The chancellor made it clear that the minister was carrying out an administrative function under law. And that is critical because it destroys the dramatic narrative that the Mohammeds were trying to create. They wanted to make it sound as though the minister was some political executioner making a personal decision against them. Minister Onij Warren don't think about you as it is. Minister Onij Warren is running the joint services of Guyana. And that's a huge task. So I'm saying that in my opinion, I don't think that minister to study you. So the minister wouldn't have acted in a personal way against Azzedine Mohammed. And despite the picture that his lawyers tried to paint, the courts said no. Once the statutory requirements are met, the minister issues the authority to proceed. That is the process. That is the law. That is the procedure. The Mohammeds tried to dress up law as politics, but the court stripped away that costume. Excuse me, my nose is a little blocked up. They wanted to turn a routine legal function into a grand conspiracy. But the court reminded them that the law is not theater. Right? The law is not theater. And more so, not the small stage. Guys, just give me a minute. I can't talk, I can't breathe. Just give me. Give a second. Sorry. Just give a second. Jesus. Sorry, guys. I'm back. Anyway, as I was saying to you, the law don't deal with small stage production, right? And that is what Team Win, NAS, and AS on. Small stage production, right? Because that is exactly what this display in the appeal court was. An attempt to turn a legal mechanism into a political melodrama. The chancellor went further. She said, bias does not arise here because the minister was not choosing between competing parties or competing positions. That is another crushing blow because the Mohammeds were trying to build this whole case around the idea that because political statements were made against them during the elections campaign, the minister must be biased. The court essentially said that is not enough. Right? That does not infect the process. That does not rewrite the law. The Mohammeds brought vibes, grievance, political complaints. The court asks for evidence of bias and found none. In court, you need proof, not prosecution poetry. Right? Because that is what it sounds like. They brought this emotional narrative of being targeted, but the court dealt with facts, law, and statutory duty. The Court of Appeal also said that it is the magistrate and the Court of Appeal, if necessary, to decide whether the Mohammeds are extradited, not the minister. And that is huge. The minister has no say whether Azleen Mohammed is extradited. The magistrate court and the Court of Appeal. So, for those who may not understand, this process after the magistrate court, let's say the principal magistrate decides to extradite Azleen Mohammed. He can still, because just let me say, all these matters that went to the High Court and to the Appeal Court they are creatures of the extradition process, right? When that process is finished, if the principal magistrate says, yes, extradite, Azleen lawyers can still run to the High Court to challenge the extradition because they have not challenged it as yet because there has been no ruling on the extradition. So there's still a process to go back to the High Court and then to the Appeal Court again, and then to the CCG again. What they have done now, these cases that they have lost, is challenging authority to proceed, how the documents come, and not the ruling on the extradition. You understand? So they can still go down that path of the High Court and the Appeal Court. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm not a lawyer, but based on my limited understanding of the court process, the authority to proceed cases are different from the extradition process, right? If the extradition, so if the principal magistrate decides to say, no, there's not sufficient evidence to extradite Azadeen Mohammed, the state or whoever, the attorneys who are representing the US in this extradition matter can move to the High Court to have the magistrate's decision overturned or reviewed. And if they lose again in the High Court, they too can go to the Appeal Court to have those decisions reviewed. You understand? Now, I want to, geez, I lose my train of thought. Now, the Mohammeds were trying to attack the wrong target to create the impression of unfairness. But the court is saying plainly, the minister does not decide extradition. The legal process does that, right? So they try to demonize the minister because they needed a political villain. But the court reminded them that extradition is decided by the judiciary, not by campaign fantasy. The Mohammeds keep trying to drag politicians into the center of this matter. But the court has now clarified that the decision on extradition fully, wholly, and solely belongs to the judicial process. That is important because it collapses one of their biggest public relation talking points. Then the court struck out another argument that the minister should have delegated the function to someone else. Wait, the president delegating the minister task to somebody else for she to delegate it to somebody else? The president, given his knowledge of Minister Waldron's capacity and her experience, delegated a task to her. Now, Azadeen and he lawyers saying that the minister now should have, I ain't even gonna continue. The chancellor basically said that that argument went nowhere to, because any other minister would still be a part of the same cabinet and they will come back with the same argument that it is biased. So who is supposed to do it? Huh? So even their fallback argument got smashed. Every escape hatch that Azadeen's lawyers tried to build got sealed by the court. First, they said the minister was biased. The court said no merit. They then floated the delegation of duties. The court brushed that aside too. One by one, their arguments are all collapsing. That is the rhythm you want? Now, let's jump to something else. The Court of Appeal awarded 1.5 million each to the minister. Azadeen, by the time Azadeen done, Azadeen got no money left. Azadeen have no money left. You understand? By the time, listen, I'm telling you, you see those three lawyers Azadeen got? They are not collecting any jokey money, you know. You hear me? Azadeen lawyers, firstly, they're not working pro bono. Dorjan, Guyanese Harry Potter, and Casper, the friendly Guyanese ghost, They are not working for free. And filing all them cases, resource people, all them things to come up with all them fancy things, people gonna get paid. So the Court of Appeal awarded 1.5 million each to the Minister of Home Affairs and the Attorney General. That matters politically because it means this was not just a loss. It was a loss with a price tag. That's what I was trying to explain to Dexter Todd the other day when he all remember bring back the law books. These things that y'all just go on with in opposition, they are things that just carry $1 million price tags. You understand? It is a loss with a price tag. So the Mohammeds didn't just lose the argument. They got billed for it as well. They start the argument, lose it, and then get a bill. After all the noise, all the outrage, all the claims of bias, the end result was simple. Dismissal and pay the people who you waste the time to come here to defend the foolishness that you talking. That is brutal because it cuts through all the drama. You understand? This means the Mohammeds took this matter to the Chief Justice and lost. Then they took this to the Court of Appeal and lost. The victimhood narrative has now failed at more than one level of the judiciary. They are now being, they are not, I should say, being vindicated. They are being rejected. Right? They are being rejected. And that is the political headline. Because that is what hurts them most. The idea that this is some heroic legal stance keeps running into judicial brick walls is hurting them deeply. The Mohammeds wanted Guyana to believe this extradition matter was poisoned by political bias. They wanted the public to see conspiracy. They wanted the country to think the minister was acting like a political weapon. Excuse me. Excuse me. They wanted the country to think the minister was acting politically. But the Court of Appeal has now destroyed that line. The Chancellor said the case, or had, because it done, absolutely no merit. Made it clear that the minister was simply carrying out administrative functions under the law, and reminded everyone that the extradition is for the courts to decide, not politicians. Right? This is what happens when propaganda collides with the law. This is what happens when a political fairy tale enters a courtroom. This is what happens when you try to sell persecution as proof. The Mohammeds keep bringing politics to explain away their legal troubles. The courts keep sending them home empty-handed. Right? So, no merit, no bias, no shortcuts, no escape. They brought accusations. The court brought clarity. They brought grievance. The court brought the law. They brought drama. And the court delivered a dismissal. At some point, the public must stop seeing these endless arguments as brave legal resistance and start seeing them for what they are. Repeated attempts to politicize a legal process that the courts are steadily pulling back into the realm of law. The Mohammeds are trying to survive in court, in the court of public emotion, I should say, because their arguments keep failing in the court of law. And that's the only place they will succeed, in the court of public emotion. The people who following them for the money and people who have some sort of grievance with the government. So they find, well, okay, this is the strongest side to oppose the government, so we join in. It's only on emotion. They have no legal ground to stand on. Right? So the Court of Appeal has now spoken clearly. The bias argument is dead. The victimhood script is weakened. The political spin has been exposed, and the Mohammeds are left with the same reality they have been trying so hard to avoid. This matter must be answered in law, not hidden behind politics. When a court says your bias case has absolutely no merit, that is not a technical setback. Right? That's a public demolition. The Mohammeds wanted a political shield. The Court of Appeal handed them a legal mirror. Right? A legal mirror. Now, in other news, so is this one? Let me see.
Just a housing scheme. It was prime state land handed to the powerful few. In 2010, seaside lots were allocated to then-President Bharat Jagdeo.
Only Bharat Jagdeo, you get seaside lots there? Mind you, this is from the APNU page. Only Vice President Bharat Jagdeo get prime seaside lots there. Let me go back to the starting of this video. Right?
Pradoville 2.
First of all, just let me say to you that there's a terrible drone shot. Terrible. The drone pilot needs to be fired. But again, APNU, right? Is it Vice President Bharat Jagdeo? And let me get the right terminology.
It wasn't just a housing scheme. It was prime state land handed to the powerful few.
The powerful few. The powerful few. You got any PNC people living in there? The Prattville too? And this was fret me as going to McCreo. That is what annoys me about the PNC. The PNC will raise topics that will shoot them in the leg. Right? They just raise topics that shoot them in the leg. Unless the Rear Admiral, and he's a Rear Admiral in the Army and a Rear Admiral in life. Unless the Rear Admiral Gary Best sold his home in Prattville too, PNC Gary Best lives in Prattville. He has land in there too. So if the APNU is saying that the PNC Gary Best is a privileged few, then y'all are a part of the problem you're talking about. Y'all are a part of the problem you're talking about. I don't know how people could follow the PNC.
In 2010, seaside lots were allocated to then-President Bharat Jagdeo and senior government officials.
And Gary Best. It's amazing how people just view things. Look. Imagine the AP and you put this out knowing fully well Gary Best got placed in there. Gary Best is a part of the party. But they, again, want to play on the emotions of people. Look, people getting evicted of friendship. Look, it is like a champion. Look. Gary Best too. The Rear Admiral of the Defense Force and the Rear Admiral of Just Guyanese Life. Rear Admiral. Listen, these guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous. So the other day, I was talking to a guy I know on it was at Border Market area, but on Merriman's Mall. And he brought up this Sue interview again. Right? You still born inside your house and the man offers you money. But I'm saying, what you really see? What did people really see? These two individuals, and again, I want to use the term unguarded moment, because in unguarded moments, we don't act the same as when we know people watching me. And when I speak of unguarded, the behavior that every one of you looking at me now would exhibit at home may not necessarily be the same behavior you would exhibit on the road. Because in your home, you're among family, among people who you feel you're safe with, you could be yourself. When you're on the road, you're on your P's and your Q's, you're watching what you say, you just want to talk nothing too wrong and thing. The video we looked at had the vice president meeting with a Chinese guy and this knockabout reporter from Vice. I hear she all over the place, and not just reporting, Rear Admiral. Anyway, they offered this man money. The vice president at the time had no idea that there was a recording happening. Anybody was taking any video. He had no reason to worry. He allowed these people into his home. They offered the money and he said, no. Whatever help you need, we will help you. No. How is that accepting a bribe? And that is the kind of thing that worries me about Guyanese. When we are at a point where we could see something, that something we see say one thing, and then we come up with a whole different narrative from what was actually said. The Sue thing, well, a lot of people like, where is Sue? Where is Sue? It is so stupid. This man, the vice president, never at any point said, oh, I don't know Sue. Master Sue is my friend. I know the man. When the story busts, but how Sue say he can get this and who carries Sue to court? Who get a judgment in absentia, I think it is, on Sue? And people still holding on. Sue. What? Jesus. Listen, I sometimes am worried for our Guyanese people because anyway, let me move on. Let me move on. Me gonna bother with this. All I'm saying to y'all is Gary Best is unless he sold his home, Gary Best is one of the residents of Pradoville. And I dare say there are more PNC people living in there. You understand? Right? There are more PNC people living in there. these guys, look, honestly, I do think the PNC is dead. I do think so. There are no new ideas. There's no new. I thought that with these new MPs from the PNC representing the APNU in Parliament, there would have been a breath of fresh air. Right? The only thing we got was an upgrade to the stupidity. It was stupidity at first with the regular MPs. Now this is the stupidity upgrade, stupidity 2.2. You know how Samsung does send you upgrade to your phone? This is a new version of the stupidity 2.2. And again, I say to you all, this stupidity is not being demonstrated by regular Guyanese. These are established, educated Guyanese, lawyers, economists, business people that exhibiting this level of stupidity. And again, I say, I don't know how PNC people could still support this party with the amount of blunders that it makes. I saw Onyx Duncan, this fairy, talking about, and I want to say he's a fairy because how he was acting in the video when Minister McCoy was talking to the Venezuelans, who, in my opinion, the AFC got to come to town claiming the president invite them. You remember him in the video? That's fairy behavior, Onyx Duncan. That's how fairies behave. That's how fairies behave. I ain't saying it for no other reason other than how he was wiggling up himself in the video. Fairy. Anyway. So they got squatting happening in Friendship. Right? They got squatting happening in Friendship. Right now in Friendship, families are being pushed off land. They occupied illegally. After a court order on private property. And that is the main thing I want to put out here. I understand persons are sad. I understand persons are saying, oh, this is sad. Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. Oh, yeah. Occupied illegally. And this segment, I want to dedicate to another stupid person. This is stupid 4.2, Michael Richmond. This heavy-tongued wretch, Michael Richmond, who thinks he's able to commentate on political matters. Michael Richmond never give me a script written by himself. Never. Everything, and I used to pay Michael, you know. That's why Michael Richmond was my staff. And after everything played out, I honestly think the PNC, they sent Michael Richmond to work for me to see if they got any collaboration between me and the government or something. I don't know what they was looking for, but they found nothing. I have a genuine interest in Guyana being a better place. And I see Guyana being a better place under the leadership of PPP presidents. Because if you look at the development that happens under different administrations, hands down, everyone will say, even Coretta McDonald has said it, we have gotten more under a PPPC government. Every guy needs to consider, even if you don't like them, even if you won't get exactly what you want for yourself, something happened in your community, something happened for some relative of you, either your child getting some because you care, they're going to UG for free, they're doing this, they're doing tertiary education at some technical institute for free, they're benefiting from BIT, they're benefiting from something from WIN, they're getting new garbage truck, they're getting helping tourism, they're getting more schools, they're getting more roads, bridges, they're getting helping agriculture, something under the PPP, something. So I honestly thought they sent Michael Richmond to see, because you know what they usually say, people like me, we don't have any thought in our head. You understand? We don't have any ability to assess the idiocy of the PNC and comment on it. We're given scripts by people from the PVP. That's what they claim. I'll say to you, the only script given to anyone was me giving Michael Richmond a question to ask at a press conference because his brain couldn't come up with a question on his own. You understand? His brain couldn't come up with. Let me tell you how Michael Richmond's so bad. If you go and check back on Livewire News, there's an article on Michael Richmond and what he's doing in football, right? Michael sent this article to me on himself. I looked at it as a man, all right, he's doing a little work in football, he's the sportsman, post it. Right? Michael, we post the photo. Sorry, we post the article on himself. You know Michael go on the Livewire post and comment, thanks Livewire News, for the article he write about himself. PNC people crazy. And Michael Richmond, if I lie on you, you sue me. Remember, I got the proof, you know. I got the comments. It done screen grab. Me and Lisa, a correspondent that I had in Borbies, both of us almost roll on the floor laughing at this banner. Complete joker. But anyway, let me go back to friendship. So those families were moved off of the private property that they were occupying illegally through a court order. Right? Houses are being broken down. Belongings are being thrown out. And people are now crying out for somewhere legitimate to go. And this is where Azadeen Mohammed's public image must be tested against real life. Because this man wants Guyana to see him as a champion of the poor, a friend of the struggling man. I think I had an image for this. Where is it? Maybe I didn't upload it to the thing. Give me a second, guys. No, I don't think I downloaded it. So this here can come over as a rant. No. I don't, no, I didn't. Anyway, let me continue. Now, this man wants me to see him as a champion of poor people and a friend of the struggling man, a philanthropist with a soft heart for the vulnerable. Then here is the perfect moment to prove it, Azadeen and Shell. Not with a speech, Azadeen. Not with a photo of Shell Mohammed. Not with a dramatic, or I should say another dramatic press performance. You can't call everything press conference. But do it with land. Real land. Useful land. And this is what I'm talking about. I got to show y'all. This man got space. We could house 60 people easy. If as do we got do. Right? Give me a second. Let me get the image for you. As got land empty right now. As got land. Hold on. It ain't gonna take too long. It ain't gonna take more than 3 minutes. I gotta do it quick. Oh. Anyway, whilst I'm looking at it, let me cost Michael Richmond a little more. Michael Stinkmouth Richmond. You forget when the APNU throw people off a land in the very friendship for Junior Rutherford. Where were you, your stinkmouth self, Michael Richmond? Why you didn't petition Granger to go and get them land? Oh God, all that shit you talking, you heavy tongue wretch. You forget when the PNC, APNU throw squatters off a land, private land in friendship, for its supporter, Junior Rutherford. So you go and check on that, Michael Richmond, before you come on Facebook talking a bunch of stupidness with your empty head. I can't stand this banner. The level of stupidity exhibited by him is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'll find the thing. I'll put it into a PDF. Yeah, just give me a second. Michael. And this is where the PNC come to. Onyx Duncan, Sherrod Duncan. Well, the two of them cut from the same cloth. The Duncans, them. Cut from the same cloth. All of them rear admirals in life. You understand? Rear admirals in life. But that's fine. That's fine. Oh, gosh. Where is this thing? Okay, good. Opening editor. Good. Save. Save. Good. Right. Now I got it. So, this is what I'm talking about here. Look, Pam telling me, but I could cuss. Pam trying to set me up. I keep it at wretch. I keep it semi-cuss. Semi. We ain't going. We on the borderline. You're on the borderline. You're on the borderline. So this is what I'm talking about. Those 60 families who illegally occupied land in Friendship. This is your test, Azruddin Mohammed. You have land. Real land, useful land, transferable land, Azruddin Mohammed. Right? Now, we all know that he and his father hold roughly 15 acres at Little Diamond on the East Bank. Land that has been described publicly as sitting there while ordinary people are desperate for somewhere to lawfully live. You understand? If Azruddin Mohammed is concerned for poor families, his concern for these poor families are genuine, he has a direct, practical way to show it. Give those evicted Friendship families legitimate plots from the land that you and your father control at Little Diamond. This is not about money anymore. Y'all ain't got goal operation. Y'all ain't got nothing going on. It's about the love of the people. You have enough money to last you till you're dead. It's about the love of the people. Right? Show the people the love. It's easy to cry for squatters when the cameras are on. It's hard to open your own land and solve the problem, though. Anybody can perform compassion. Oh my God. Oh gosh, girl, I feel it for you. Oh, scrap buddy, what you gonna do? Anybody can perform compassion. Anybody can stand up and blame the government. Like an idiot named Azruddin Mohammed in New Amsterdam market and in the town council responsible for the market. Anybody can try to turn a painful situation into political theater. But when you have acres of land and families need land, then compassion must move from mouth to material. If Azruddin Mohammed believes ordinary Guyanese are being denied access to house lots, then let him stop talking and start allocating. Put on your big boy pants, Azruddin Mohammed. If Azruddin believes poor people deserve, or the poor deserves a chance, let him create that chance with his own land. After all, you bought that land with money that was supposed to go to the Guyanese people. If Azadeen and his father want to be seen as philanthropists, let them donate plots and not slogans. Right? And the beauty of this argument is that it is simple. You say you care, prove it. You say people are suffering, help them. You say families deserve land, give it to them. You have it. It's not like you have it. It's not like Aubrey Norton that just got a pig farm. You can't put all 6 of them on the pig farm. Remember, that's a PNC got no money. PNC can't do it. They got land. Only land PNC got is the land at Congress Place. That big. And they can't lot it out. They can't lot it out because taxes own the land. So the land can't separate until the taxes clear off from my quack or wherever it is. 6 billion. 6 billion in taxes. You understand? So the APNU, the PNC can't do it. But you could. You got the land already. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to get them people the land. Move everybody into Serenity Court. Move everybody into Serenity Court. Let all 60 of them and y'all live in Serenity Court. It's too big structure, too big compound. Everybody get their own apartment. Them apartment got balcony, AC, cable, big fridge, big TV. Move the people in there. Right? Give them the land. And let's be honest here. The friendship issue also exposes a wider truth. Sympathy is cheap when it costs you nothing. A lot of politicians and opportunists suddenly find their voice when families are being displaced. But the question is always the same. What are you giving up? Those opportunists and politicians. What are you sacrificing? What are you offering these people beyond outrage? I see name a flew best, Sherrod, all of them running around there. Ain't doing nothing for nobody there. Because guess what? APNU members of parliament win members of parliament, fool fugitive offender opposition leader. Outrage does not build homes. Right? Outrage does not regularize occupants. Outrage does not turn illegal squatting into secure tenure. Land does. And that is why I'm suggesting Azadeen Mohammed is the one who should now be under the pressure. Because based on the public narrative he has built around himself, this is his moment to step up in a way that cannot be dismissed as empty politics. Show the people that you're for the people. Friendship families don't need another speech. They need a lawful space to live. They do not need crocodile tears. They need transport, like what the government they get to the squatters in Mocha to go to the new homes. Like the lawful space the Ministry of Housing gave to the Maconians who are living on the dam that they call ancestral land, that Granger never get them a piece of paper or an ink scratched on the finger to prove it. So, Azadeen, they need transports, they need surveying, they need allocations and title. They do not need performative concern. They need actual plots. And as we can see, you have some space for actual plots. If Azadeen Mohammed can sit on prime East Bank acreage while squatting families are being displaced, then his so-called compassion starts to look selective. Right? On one side, and I want y'all to look at the contrast. On one side, families at Friendship are facing the brutal reality that illegal occupation on private land cannot last forever under a court order. On the other side, a man who wants to present himself as the savior of the people has acres sitting there. So the question becomes, why should the public take his sympathy seriously if he is not prepared to convert privilege into relief? It's not like Azadin, if he gives out that land, he ain't got no more land. Azadin got a big Mako house in Houston. Azadin got another big Mako house in Friendship. He father got a house in Eccles. He baby mother got a house in Eccles. He got other places all over. They got a house where somebody tell me they keeping they allege that they're keeping the money in Providence. Horse Stelling, not Providence, Horse Stelling. Where they keep in the US. You got a house. So it's not like if you give up this land, you put yourself on the street. Right? Do not come and market yourself as the friend of the poor, while your own land could help poor families and you keep it idle, growing bush. A true philanthropist does not just visit suffering. A true philanthropist parts with assets to reduce suffering. Right? Like Bill Gates and Mark. So that is true. Stop calling yourself tough. You lose one and two things. One and two things. You understand? If Azadin Muhammad wants to lead with generosity, then friendship is the test. And Little Diamond, sir, is the answer. Right? Nobody is saying illegal squatting should become the national model. But if these families now need a lawful path, then the loudest self-proclaimed benefactor in politics should be the first one asked to provide. Right? Azadin has a golden opportunity to prove his politics is more than branding. If he truly cares about friendship families, let him donate part of the Little Diamond land. I ain't even saying all the move. Part. You can get 6 lots there easy. Easy peasy. Right? Until then, the country is entitled to view his compassion as performance, not principle. Right? If he wants to be the fugitive offender, if he wants to be remembered as a philanthropist, let him stop posing as one and start parceling land like one. Please, Azardine and Shell. Right? Share out the land, Azardine. Share out the land. Anyway, guys, I am out of here. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the day. Continue to be good Guyanese. Continue to be safe wherever you are. And as I usually say, before I go, it's all about peace. It's all about love. it's all about.
We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all